back to STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and we're learning more about a Jewish joke with artistic director Kathleen Sitzer. And again, thank you for joining us here in studio today.
Happy to.
So, you know, it's interesting because there is a relevance today when we talk about McCarthyism. And, you know, I mean, it's just, when they say history repeats itself, I mean, you may not literally be doing it, but it's so interesting. Talk about that, how, from your side of things, on the artistic side, how it
you know, when we put our seasons together, we put them together for to meet certain criteria. We need a comedy, we need a drama, we need a small cast, we need a larger cast, we need a big set, we need a small set, whatever. There are lots of things that go into putting the season together. And Jewish Joke fit into what we needed for this point in time. And it was long before November of 2016 that we selected it. So we didn't know what we were going to be dealing with at that time. But it is extremely relevant. In fact, many theater pieces, even Shakespeare, lots of relevance. And I mean, here we're talking about Senate, investigative committees, Senate and House committees, judicial committees. You know, here we are. And like you said, history repeats itself. But what we want people to take away from this is that we can stop history from repeating itself. That's up to us.
I was going to ask you that in the sense of that was kind of where I was leading with that question is what do you think people take away from it? Because I think people go back and look at historical moments, and performing arts is such a great way, and especially in a play like this, to see, well, what was done in that scenario? How did people respond to that? Because we're looking for answers, I think, as to how we move forward. But I think you've given that answer, what you just said, which is that there is a way that you can stop what might be happening by looking to what was done in the past.
There are so many warnings of what could be right down the road for us as a country. And theater is a way to look at that. You know, it creates a kind of distance, even though it's immediate, you're right there when it's happening. But when you look at the subject matter, it creates enough of a distance with the audience that the audience can get something from that. In fact, we're having 2 talkbacks, I should mention this. Because the play is so relevant, we have 2 talkbacks scheduled for this production. There may be more, but haven't put that together yet. We're having Jeffrey Mittman, the director of the local ACLU. He's speaking after a performance on Wednesday, December 6th, I believe is the date. And Karen Oresti, who is the director of the local regional Anti-Defamation League. She's speaking after the final performance, Sunday, not the final performance, but after the matinee on Sunday, December 10th. Because this play and this subject raises so many issues. So yeah, it's not a comedy. It's a drama about comedy, and it raises more issues and questions than we have time to answer.
Right. And I think what's interesting about a lot of the dialogue right now, because there is so much divisiveness in this country, whether you're looking at it like racially, religiously, socially, socioeconomic, all this stuff, that where we talk about where those bridges can be formed is in telling stories. Because I think what people are saying is, I think something's a fact, you think something is a fact, we all think our facts are right, but where we find commonalities is shared stories and empathy and understanding of that. And theater is a great medium for that.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Great segue, Sarah. Thank you, because one of the things that I really need to get across to all people is that the New Jewish Theater, although we tell stories from the Jewish perspective, looking through the Jewish lens, they are stories with universal appeal and dealing with universal ideas and issues. For instance, our first show was Tuesdays with Maury. So, you know, you don't have to be Jewish. So it's theater for everyone, all issues, all people.
Yeah, no, thank you for pointing that out, and I think it's a good point to mention. Well, thank you for joining us today, and we've got the information there for you on the screen. Go check it out. A Jewish Joke. It's playing November 29th through December 10th at Wool Studio Theater on the JCC Staenberg Family Campus. For more information, go to newjewishtheater.org. There's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.